Sam's Club Map is now Sam's Club Connect, and a lot more than just a name change. So Lisa, really, if you think about the vision for where we have been and where we're going, Connect really unifies that whole experience and that whole journey together. So connecting members with valuable experiences, and we call them breakthrough experiences that provide clear proof of measurement, is really the Sam's Club news. And larger for the enterprise, it's the signal that Walmart Inc. is now forming a global ads ecosystem, which means that it'll be easier for tech suppliers, it'll be easier for advertisers, it'll be better for our members and customers to have a unified ads experience that we believe will become a mega power in the ads industry.
Sam's Club members have different behaviors, purchase patterns than your typical retail audience. Tell me a little bit about how that shapes your approach to advertising and activation.
Yeah, well, advertising and activation, as you know, are more than clicks, more than impressions. Membership is everything. So if you think about how retail media or commerce media, there's a lot of things based off of the transaction. If you think about the membership is based purely on the relationship. A member is paying us for the privilege to shop at a Sam's Club. What that means is that the obligation back to create that breakthrough experience is absolutely profound for us. And so think about the singular journey, but also the long-term journey a member has with not just products, but also all the services that Sam's Club offers. Translate that into advertising, and now you have a end-to-end, full-fledged picture of what a member does, both inside and outside of the club. And that data, as you know, powers the advertising ecosystem.
So, to that end, what other are there any other added value for advertisers that makes Sam's Club Connect unique?
Sam's Club Connect is unique in the fact that it's not just the measurement of singular campaign performance, it's the ability to measure that performance over the course of time. So we like to say internally, we know when you're a soccer player and you've transitioned to a soccer mom, and that buying behavior is much, much different. I think even more importantly, because we're a membership-based model, you could come into our clubs, you could transact with a jar full of pennies, and we still know exactly who you are. And so that stitching, that deterministic data we call it, is one-to-one and also longitudinal in nature. And so the ability to measure that over the course of time is incredibly powerful for any advertiser.
How are you thinking about expanding beyond the on-platform inventory?
Yeah, that is an excellent question. As you look at the retail media growth curve, on-site was always the predominantly, I think, owned and operated inventory was one of the biggest pieces of inventory that a retailer had. However, it's just as important to show the goodness of what Sam's Club is outside of the club as it is inside the club. I think a great example of that is we are actually involved in a campaign called Race to the Club. It's the first time we have sponsored an Indy car, the number 27 Honda, driven by Kyle Kirkwood with Andretti Global. And people have asked me, why would you sponsor a race car now? It's less about the sponsorship, it's less about the race car, it's more about bringing Sam's Club to the track. And so what better way to know if you want to buy a portable air compressor than to actually use that air compressor at the track with an IndyCar driver sitting right over your shoulder and just trying it, touching it, feeling it firsthand outside of a Sam's Club. And so if you think about what that activation looks like, it is so much more than just the on-site experience. It's now the club. We do parking lot activations. We had a country music festival to help entertain our clients. But then you actually have an activation at the cultural event in Epicenter where we know they're going to be at. You tie all those things together, that's really what we call a full funnel or a full funnel shopper journey, member journey. And I think that makes things very, very different from an advertising perspective.
And looking ahead, what will be some of those key differentiators in retail media?
Well, we believe that it is going to be the quality of your audience. And so going back to the member quality, that one-to-one fidelity, that one-to-one stitching, the ability to kind of close that loop, but deterministically, not having to extrapolate or guess. The second is creating breakthrough experiences. So things, not just search and display, but the taste, the touch, the emotion, the smell that you feel when you're shopping, both online and inside of a store or a club. And the third is clearer proof of performance. And what that means is the transparency, the incrementality, the lifetime value, all the buzzwords that advertisers are looking for right now. It's how do you know deterministically and confidently that that is actually happening. And that's really, I think, the differentiators that will happen with those that succeed and those that will potentially have some struggles in the upcoming years.